In the spirit of consistency over perfection, I thought I'd do a little bit of a different video this week because I didn't really have anything art related or syllabus related to talk about, but I did just get a stack of library books out, and I thought we could talk about those this week. So I've been trying to use my library more. I fall in and out of phases with this. I will reserve a ton of books, like I'll go through my wish list or I'll watch a bunch of booktubers and get inspired to read a whole bunch of books, and I will reserve them all at my library. And then once I make my way through that, it's very easy to then just fall into going back to my local bookstore. And there's nothing wrong with that other than like it's not the most financially responsible decision I could be making at this moment. And it means that I don't try out as many new authors, because when I'm buying a book at the bookstore, I really want to know that I'm going to like it so I don't feel like I wasted my money. So I'm in a phase right now where I'm trying to utilize the library again. It's always a really great habit when I'm in it. It works really well for me to get out a bunch of books without pressure to like them or finish them. So that's where we are. And I have a stack of 8 books at the moment. I have more on hold. One of them is a brand new release, so won't come in for a while. Like, I don't think the library has even ordered it yet. And I honestly have no idea what the others are. We'll get surprised when they come in. Okay, so 4 of these fall into the category of like cozy fantasy. Now, there are some books in this genre that I like a lot. I really liked Lattes and Legends, and it's grown on me since I've read it. I thought it was quite cutesy when I first read it, but then it was just so like, it just feels like a big hug. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like so cozy, and sometimes you just need that kind of escapism. I'm a big D&D fan, so I like a world that has orcs and goblins and fighters and barbarians, but it's cozy. So Lattes and Legends was a really good example of that, and Tusk Love was another really good example of just like a really cozy fantasy. So I have 4 books that I think fall in that category. I have no idea how I found these. I think partly was looking at what Amazon was recommending to me, or like what would have tempted me as a 99p Kindle book, and getting it from the library instead. And partly they might have come from YouTubers, but if so, I have no idea. I need to get better about tracking where I get my book recommendations from. But honestly, it's just like I see something, I add it to my library reserve list, and then it just goes out the window. And I have no idea why I put it on that list, who recommended it. Anyway, it's, not a good system. All that to say, if you know a booktuber that you like that has talked about these books, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. So the first is A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. This is by Jay Penner. It was originally self-published in 2023, interesting, and then was picked up in 2025. Okay, what is this one about? So it says, she doesn't need to have magic in order to be magic. In the heart of Denashire, where elvish enchantments and dwarven delights rule, human baker Arletta Starstone works twice as hard at perfecting her unique blend of baking with apothecary herbs. So when her orc neighbor and biggest fan secretly enters her creations into the prestigious Langheim baking battle, Arletta faces a dilemma. Being magicless, her participation in the competition could draw more scowls than smiles. And if Arletta wants to prove her talent and establish her culinary reputation, she'll need more than just her pastry craft to sweeten the odds. Though Arletta may not yet believe in herself, she makes her way to Langheim with the help of a very attractive woodland elf and competes. While on a journey of mouth-watering pastries, self-discovery, heartwarming friendships, and potential romance, Arletta will have to decide whether winning the baking battle is the true prize after all. But win or lose, her adventure is only beginning. So definitely in cozy fantasy. We're combining baking and fantasy world. Definitely in the cozy category. Love that. And the other thing I like, so there's various things that drive a novel forward, like various forms of conflict. And I really like an internal conflict. So she has to learn to believe in herself, and that is going to be like the main transformation I imagine she has. With maybe this sounds like a subplot of romance. I really like that kind of plot container. So excited to give this one a try. Then we have The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Long and The Keeper of Magical Things by the same author. The Teller of Small Fortunes is the first one. It says, fleeing a troubled past, immigrant fortune teller Teo roams the dusty countryside with only her mule for company, telling small fortunes for small prices. Big fortunes come with big consequences, which she knows from bitter experience. It's a lonely life until she encounters an ex-mercenary and a semi-reformed thief who recruit her into their desperate search for a lost child. Soon, they're joined by a baker with a need, spelt Knead, for adventure, and of course, a slightly magical cat. Teo sets down a new path with companions as big-hearted as her fortunes are small. But as her friends break down her walls, the shadows of her past close in. Now Teo must decide whether to risk everything to save the family she never thought she could have. A cozy fantasy about trying to find yourself and finding a family instead. So again, we're combining like fantasy world, but plot-wise, it's very real world rooted. So the idea of trying to find yourself and found family are themes that I really like, and I'm excited to explore them in a cozy fantasy setting. I really know nothing about it, but it's got good cover art, and I'm sold. And then The Keeper of Magical Things says, certainly Bulrush wants to be useful to the Guild of Mages, to the brother who depends on her, and to anyone else she can help. Unfortunately, her tepid magic hasn't proven much use to anyone. So when Certainty is offered the chance to earn her magehood, she jumps on it. Never mind that the assignment is to transport minor artifacts to the dull, unmagical village of Spelling, or that it involves working with mage Aurelia, a brilliant, unfairly attractive overachiever who's managed to alienate everyone around her. In Spelling, the two must deal with testy villagers, an unruly cat dragon, and their growing attraction to each other, while avoiding any incidences that could further damage the guild's testy relationship with the kingdom's citizens. But magic is fickle. Sooner or later, it's bound to spell trouble. So it's queer, which I don't think I knew when I got it out, but I'm excited to find out. So again, just another cozy fantasy. And then the last in the cozy fantasy is the Spellshop, which I've been seeing in my local bookstore for a while now. And honestly, like the cover just makes me want to buy it and read it. But I've just been hesitant because I've been disappointed or like let down by books in this genre. And so I think I have a little bit of cold feet about committing. But the back of the book says a faraway island, a secret spell shop, an unexpected romance. And then, what is our plot? The Spellshop is a heartwarming, cozy fantasy about stolen spell books, starting over and finding love in the unlikeliest of places. Keala has always had trouble dealing with people, and as a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, she hasn't had to. She and her assistant Kaz, a sentient spider plant, have spent most of the last 11 years sequestered among the Empire's precious spellbooks, protecting the magic for the city's elite. But a revolution is brewing, and when the library goes up in flames, Keala and Kaz steal whatever books they can and flee to the faraway island where she grew up. To her dismay, in addition to a nosy and very handsome neighbor, she finds the town in disarray. The Empire has slowly been draining power from the island, and now Kyla? Sorry, I'm really bad with names. I think I've added, it's Kiela. Kyla is determined to make things right, but opening up her own spell shop comes with its own risks. The consequence of sharing magic with commoners is death, as Kyla starts to make a place for herself among the townspeople, she realizes she must break down the walls she has kept so high. So honestly, like, that's not super interesting to me, but the cover's so good. So, like, this is, I think, why I haven't bought it. Again, I like an internal plot. So, like, her having to learn to break down her walls, but it sounds like there's a lot more external happening that I'm wondering if that's going to lose me. So, we'll see. Okay, then we have 2 YAs. I really love a young adult book. I think they can be really, really fun, really good reads. And I think they suit my nervous system. So they can have peril, but it's not, I don't know. There's some sort of like, not hand holding, but like safety that the author helps construct. Like, you're safe in this book, even though bad things are happening. That's how I feel with a good YA book. And maybe that doesn't make sense, but anyways. So the first is Oxford Blood. This I heard about in a writer's workshop that I attended and loved the idea of the plot. So it says, Eva has one goal: to study English at Oxford University. When she and her best friend George are both called to interview week, all her dreams seem to be coming true, until George is found dead. All eyes turn on Eva, including the anonymous posters called Oxslays, a student gossip forum that's more ruthless than any killer. Eva has 1 week to uncover the truth, clear her name, and take back her future. So, like, dark academia, I talked about in my wrap-up that I really liked Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I didn't read the second one. That book was good. I really enjoyed it, but it was on the verge of, like, too much for me. Like, too much horror, too much thriller, like, too scary. I was tense reading it, and I just don't need that, particularly in the middle of winter. So I'm hoping we get like a softer version of Ninth House without the like supernatural. I don't expect that to come in, but yeah, like all the vibes, the dark academia, solving a murder vibes, but set into a YA. I'm excited to give it a try. And then the other YA I got is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. This was, again, I first heard about it in the writer's workshop that I was going to, talking about like what was popular in YA and what agents and publishers were looking for. And it sounds incredible. So on the cover it says, they've loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes. They've killed each other in every one. So it says, the ribbon binding their wrists together was red as a wound. Evelyn has lived countless lives, and in every single one, she's been killed before her 18th birthday. But in her present life, her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. To save her sister and make it past her 18th birthday, she'll have to, 1, find the centuries-old enemy who hunts her through each life, 2, figure out why she's being hunted so that she can break the curse once and for all. But most importantly, she's going to have to try not to fall in love with them again. Just the like, I will find you in every lifetime trope I love, and enemies to lovers I love, and this for me absolutely falls into enemies to lovers, even if they don't hate each other. The fact that like in order to stay alive, it sounds like one has to kill the other. I'm here for that plot and how they're going to overcome it. It's really funny. I just finished Two Can Play, which is the Ali Hazelwood novella that I think is recently published. And that has or talks about a book which feels so similar to this. But it's like a fictional book in her novella, which has like characters who essentially like, one has the memories of a lifetime and the other one doesn't. And as soon as the one who doesn't have the memories like falls in love with the one who does, the one who has the memories dies and then like comes back eventually. And then the one remaining now has all the memories. And so like they keep doing this flip-flop. Anyways, this idea of like, as soon as you fall in love, you die. I don't know, just somehow reminds me of this. But anyways, I'm super excited. Right up my alley. And then the last 2 books that I got out are, I guess kind of just more pure fantasy. So the first is When the Moon Hatched. I've had this on my Kindle for ages. It was like a free Amazon book or something, or maybe it was 99p. Anyways, I've had it on my Kindle for ages. Started it, couldn't get into it, keep seeing it everywhere, and it just sounds like a book I want to read. I mean, it's about dragons, and I like books about dragons. So our plot is she's an assassin on the run. Rave's job is to complete orders and never get caught until a rival assassin devastates her world and she is captured by a group of powerful fae. He's the dragon rider who will stop at nothing to save her. Crushed by the loss of his great love, Khan Vagor hunts the world for answers. Then a clue lures him to the capital's high-security prison where he finds Rave. Together they'll burn it all down. Now they seek truths that threaten to shatter everything they knew about their world and each other. Then it says, this #1 best-selling global phenomenon will transport you into a world filled with magic, dragons, and a love that blazes through the ages. So, I'm absolutely on board. Like, magic, dragons, love story, great. It's just, I've started this one. I'm on page 36. It's just hard to get into. But I'm hoping, not that it has similar vibes to Six of Crows, but that it has all the enjoyment of Six of Crows. It's 550 pages. I think the second one in the book has come out recently, or the second one in the series. So yeah, I don't know. I just really want to like it because it's about dragons and magic. But we'll see. And the last, I don't know how I found this book. I think I was looking, so I recently read Raven Scholar, which I loved. It was a 5-star book. It was perfection. I loved it so much. So sad I finished it. So sad the next book is not out yet. I'm like, what do I do with my life? So I went on Fable, the book reading app, and I think I was looking at like what other people who read Raven Scholar and liked it had also read and liked. That's what I'm gonna blame this on. It's gotta be a judgment-free space. But the next book I have, or the last book I have, is Direbound. This is a Wolves of Ruin novel. There's a series of them. And I think the next one is out. Maybe all of them are out. I could be really late to this. Direbound, Furybound. I don't know if there's other ones after this. I don't know. But it is a massive book. It is, again, a 600-page book. The back says, let my hands act out your every savage, depraved thought. Use me, I'm yours. So let me read you the plot now. Only the worthy survive the bonding trials. She'll risk her life and her heart to be one of them. Maren Cooper has always hated the bonded, elite warriors who form mental links with the massive, vicious, dire wolves they ride. The bonded live in luxury, while Maren struggles to keep her family out of poverty. And when her little sister, Selah, is kidnapped, stolen across the border by the immortal monsters her country has spent centuries fighting, Maren's world falls apart. Desperate to cross the front and save her sister, Maren enlists in the army and is thrown into the deadly bonding trials, where any mistake will cost her her life. Now Maren must survive 4 months of training at the castle. She is bound to a feral direwolf who refuses to communicate. The other trainees would love to spill her common blood, and her cold and beautiful instructor, Stark Therion, is eager to punish any weakness. Everything is a competition, and everyone is out to get her. Everyone except the dangerously handsome crown prince, whose attention adds another target to her back. In the castle, every smile hides a knife, and the halls hide dark secrets. It's bond or bleed, duel or die. Failure is ruin. So, I know nothing about this series. Like, genuinely, I know nothing. I was just like, it's about trials. Some kind of like having to compete or having to, I don't know what you get at the end of the trials. You get to be in the army? I don't know. But like having that kind of competing element. Anyways, my point is I have no idea what I'm getting into with this book. The back makes it sound very smutty. Let my hands act out your every savage, depraved thought. Use me, I'm yours. Like, that sounds incredibly smutty, but the inside of the book doesn't sound like... It sounds like, you know, she has to go into these deadly trials to try and become this warrior to go rescue her sister. It sounds exciting. Anyways, I'm in. I hope for a good time. I'm certainly in for a long time. We'll see if it's a good time. So those are my library books. Let me know, without spoiling, if you've read any of them, if you're excited to, like, are any of them on your TBR list? Are there any that you, like, particularly want to hear my thoughts about when I finish them? Like, how long is it going to take me to read these? I don't know, a month? We'll see. I gotta lock in, and, like, these two alone are 1,000 pages, but the other ones feel like, the YA ones feel like really quick reads, and the cozy fantasies can also be really quick reads. I'm also not sure I'm going to like all of them or finish all of them. Like I said, I like books in this genre, but I also have kind of a hit and miss relationship with them. So maybe I update you in a month or 6 weeks if you're interested in that. All right, I gotta go read now. Bye.